Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I've got a Red Bull in hand, ready for a big day, well hopefully, as we're going to start looking at swapping the K20 engine into the car. We're going to first probably give it a bit of a wash and then look at all of the different components that we need to actually mount the engine in the car, and then we're going to go from there. So I just got a message from one of the boys and they let me know that everything started. They moved it in on the weekend, but we've got a few bits and pieces already happening. So we've got the drive shafts here unplugged, getting ready to pull the motor out, which is going to be pretty awesome because that means the wonderful K20 VTEC over there will be going in. So I'm super excited to see that. It's just been sitting here waiting around for a while, and they also pulled this 911, I believe, with a Carrera RS kit on it, which was sitting underneath the MR2 out so they can work on the car. Look at that, priorities. I feel so amazing, and it's great to see it actually starting. Just having a look underneath the car and I can already see a few bits that we can improve in the future. So yeah, we've got the underbody here, which actually to me looks like it's in okay condition. Can't complain too much, but already an opportunity for improvement here. We'll put a flat floor on the bottom of this thing to improve the ground effects. Well, that's what they would call it in Formula One, I suppose. But yeah, having a flat bottom to a car definitely helps suck it down to the tarmac a bit better. So that will be something, as long as it's not too crazy expensive. I'm not going to be doing it in carbon fiber or anything. That'll be something I'll be looking into at some point, because I think there is probably a reasonable advantage to doing that. But yeah, it's really cool. And as you could tell from before, I'm super excited to see this thing on the lift. Can't wait to get it all happening. And now we have that over there up on the hoist. I need to start looking into sorting out the wheels. So underneath here, as I would have shown you in a previous video, we have the wonderful T37s. So what I've got to do here is put the actual spoke stickers on, which are in red. I think I showed you as well in the previous video. And then I've also bought a G-Technic wheel coating kit. So this one just here, I don't know if you can see that too well, but yeah, 99 bucks, and I was able to get the actual coating itself, a panel spray, so it can, or panel wipe I think they call it, so we can clean the wheel up before we apply all of the coating, ceramic coating, and a couple of microfibers, so we can dry it off once it's on and then let it set. But yeah, that's probably the next thing. And I also need to get some, Ray's wheel lugs. I just need to figure out what size they are on this, which shouldn't be too hard. Should be a quick session on Google, looking at a few forums, and I'm sure people will tell me. And then we should be good to go for the wheels. So that's exciting. Now it's all happening, I'm going to start getting the next couple of bits and pieces. I think maybe I might be getting a wiring harness from online somewhere. I think maybe Mitch's Auto Parts or one of those other MR2 stores. What you might have noticed now is the MR2 has been lowered, which means that the engine bay might not be empty soon, hopefully, as we've got over here on the ground a couple interesting things. I mean, on the right there you can probably notice a little shifter knob, so that's the shifter assembly, but here we have the actual engine mount. So this is all of everything that we need to get the actual K20 engine into the car. So this means it's all starting to happen and come together. The old 1ZZ engine just coming out of the car. Well, it's been out for a while now, and we're just going to go and take this away from here. So this is going to go and sit over now where the K20 is sitting. I'm going to put the K20 over on this bench here. As you can see, we've got Mark over here just getting the engine hoist ready to come and lift it up. So as you can see, the engine's a little bit dirty, it needs a quick wash. So we're just going to take it outside, give it a little hose down. All the little important parts here and there have been patched up so no water gets inside, and then we'll put it over near the car.
Like I said, we've had a whole V12 and gearbox on it.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, how long have you had this hoist? Since the beginning of the workshop?
Yeah, before I had this at home.
Oh, there you go. Very reliable. It's good that they put this little
it's
seatbelt
just an old
Velcro thing.
seatbelt. That's what a lot of the wreckers do.
Pretty exciting to see the engine out here just hanging, about to get washed. You know, some people might see it near the trash. No, we're not throwing it out. We're just cleaning it up. As you can see, all the holes are plugged like I said originally. Now we're just, hopefully get a bit of this grime off. It's been sitting around for a while, and God knows how long it was sitting with the wrecker, but here we have the completed product. I mean, that red is a lot more vibrant than what it was before, so it's looking a lot nicer. And as you can see, we've sort of tried to dry it off a little bit. You can actually see the block. There isn't 1,000 tons of grease on it, just making it look like it's a dirty block. You can actually see the metal. It looks great. And now we've just laid to rest the 1ZZ engine, which doesn't really want to rest.
Needs to rest at the bottom of the harbour, I think.
Or in someone else's car.
Or in somebody's backyard, yeah.
Something like that. So just looking at some of the mounts and things and where they go. Got the engine sitting underneath the car now. Just mucking around with a few things. So it's all getting pretty serious. And with the theme of today of keeping things clean, like the engine and all of that, we've got the rear subframe mount here where we have suspension components and obviously an engine mount or gearbox mount that comes to this. We've cleaned that up quite nicely, ready to go back in the car. Alright, so it's another day and we're back, and I've walked in and I've seen, pleasantly to my surprise, that the motor is now sitting within the engine bay. Nothing's mounted up, unfortunately, but that's all part of the process. We need to make sure all the engine mounts have been placed correctly and they fit. We also need to figure a few other things out. For example, over here, I think we're using one of the stock Toyota mounts, which is this thing here, which is going to then plug up to one of the adapter mounts that we bought as part of the kit. But yeah, it looks really cool to see the Honda motor finally in the MR2. Got the master mechanic just loving life.
Who?
You, mate. What's the current challenge? The mount on the back firewall is a little bit off.
That's posing a bit of an issue, yeah, so we might have to sort of try and get most of them in roughly to see where that all going to sort of...
Yeah, a bit of a test fit.
What do you call that? Low quality Luigi.
Low quality Luigi? I don't know if I'd class Mark like that.
Thanks.
He's in my blogs, he's the master mechanic so far.
Probably the only one.
And yeah, I pretty much can't remember what you said, so it's all gone in one ear and out the other.
No, well, we'll use that mount, like I said, for the moment. At least we can get it in and mount it, and then we'll...
Yeah, because this is the original Honda mount that came on the K20, yeah. So we've just, I guess, widened the existing hole just to be able to make it fit nicely into the OEM mount that we have on the body here. And then if we decide to go ahead with this one, and correct me if I'm wrong, we will just patch up the excess part of the hole.
Just re-weld the hole properly.
Yeah, and that way we won't have any play and it'll actually sit nicely, exactly. Because like I think I mentioned earlier in the video, these mounts are fantastic, and Mitch from Mitch's Auto Parts has actually been very helpful, but they don't have a K20 Z4 engine that they've worked on before. They do it on all of the other K20 engines, which are a bit older, and in Australia that comes out of like a Honda DC5 Integra and stuff like that. So slightly different, but we're making progress, which is great. Finally comes back and makes me a coffee. This is why he's Mr. Barista. Look at that skill.
Don't give up your day job.
Me?
Me?
Yeah, probably. Oh, your coffee's alright. No complaint.
Så shit give up day job.
Maybe not. How many cups of coffee do you have to sell to replace this income? 4,000?
2 cups a day.
Alright, so we're back here on another day. This engine swap video is probably going to go across a couple days, but we've got some deliveries. So we've got the actual clutch setup that came from Summit Racing over in the US. And I looked for some OEM options, and unfortunately it was really hard to source the Toyota parts. So for the next best thing, and I looked at a few options, and Willwood clutch system came up. So just a quick reveal, obviously I've opened it, but we've got the actual clutch lever itself, the pedal, and I think that looks all pretty nice. That will sit obviously nicely in the driver's footwell, and then behind the firewall we have the actual master cylinder, which is a little bit bigger than what I expected it to be, which is probably a good thing. It needs to hold a bit of hydraulic fluid to be able to operate the clutch. But yeah, that will sit in quite nicely with this, and then we'll make up some hydraulic lines which then go through to the gearbox, and then we can operate the clutch. Alright, so back at the shop again today, and we took a little detour before we got here, and that was to pick up this shift assembly or riser. And what this will essentially do is it'll replace the stock shift assembly that came with the K20 Z4, which is just sitting down there. We're having some issues. As you can see, this part here is a little bit too long, and these actual I guess points where you connect the shift cables are a little bit too high to fit the RSX or the DC5 cables that were supplied with the kit that I bought. And it's also that longer arm there, the shifter arm, is clashing with the actual bracket. So what this riser or shift assembly should do, which is now out of a 02 to 06 DC5 or RSX depending where you are in the world, what this should do is it should allow all of that fitment to no longer clash, and it is low enough to now mount the cables accurately. And I believe it has all the blockouts and everything you need to be able to make this actually work with a motor that, you know, was originally front mounted in the Civic Type R, but now it's, you know, essentially back to front in the MR2, as it's facing that way versus how it was before. But yeah, essentially the cables are now running backwards instead of forwards, so we need to sort all of that out, and hopefully this is what we need to do. So I've had a few discussions with people on forums which were very helpful, like the K-Swap forums, the MR2 Spyder forum on Facebook, and all of that. And Mitch's Auto Parts, had a few chats with him over email, as well as Toyota, who supplied this whole kit, and yeah, they made it quite simple and clear as to what I need to do. And it's essentially all about putting this RSX or DC5 shift assembly in here. I think you need to drill an extra hole or so, and then get it all together and linked up. Yeah, so that's that for the actual shifter assembly. Now something else that's quite exciting is from Summit Racing over in the US, we bought the clutch pedal. I think I've already filmed and showed you guys what that looks like, and the master cylinder. I need to get a light in there. Yeah, so the clutch is actually already installed, so the Willwood clutch is there, looking quite nice and positioned really well with the other pedals, nice and aligned. And we'll go around to the front, and you can also see there the master cylinder's all plugged in and attached to the pedal, which is on the other side, so that will feed through, I guess, the hydraulic fluid, and then eventually plumb off to the hydraulic line, which then controls the actual clutch that's sitting in the transmission gearbox. Alright, so today we're back again at the workshop with some exciting news. So we've ordered some headers for the car and actually installed them. So these are the Toyota headers. After a bit of discussion with a few people on the Facebook forums and groups and whatnot, we landed on getting these over some other brands. And now I've got them in, you can actually see that they're relatively high quality, and seeing such a nice shiny new part in such an old car is a bit of a weird thing to me, as it makes it look a little bit more high-end. But yeah, I'm really loving it. You can see the collector here where it goes four into one. And yeah, I'm really loving it. It's perfectly positioned and placed. Really high quality stuff from what I can tell so far. And yeah, I didn't capture the install process, but pretty straightforward. I mean, those four pipes just bolt on directly to the engine there, and I've obviously gotten the under axle pipe here. So what will happen is essentially I have a mid pipe which actually just got delivered today, which I'll show you shortly, but it will attach here and then I think go up into the top left part of the area here and then connect to the actual muffler, which will then, I believe, come out as an exhaust pipe on the left hand side. And so here we have the actual box that was delivered today from Toyota. So this is the muffler now, which mates up perfectly to the headers that we've installed over there. And I just thought that this would be an easier route to take rather than actually getting some custom made muffler from one of the Sydney exhaust shops, because I was having a few chats with them and it was relatively ambiguous around, you know, the pricing and length of time it would take and, you know, the actual process to getting it all done. So I just decided, look, let's just get something that's already made for the MR2 Spyder, something that's going to marry up to the headers that I've got and just make the process a lot more simpler and faster. So now with that all said, let's actually open this up and see what it looks like. All pretty nicely put together here. Oh, look at that, they even gave me a number plate holder. So that's obviously the brand Toyota, where they have all the K-swap bits and pieces for these cars. And alright, so here you go. This is everything now unwrapped out of all its protective wrapping. There was actually quite a bit, which is good. That's what you want when someone ships something from overseas, so everything's nice and protected. And you've got a couple different components here that make up the rear muffler. So what we have up here is the essentially the mid pipe that connects to the headers. We've got in this piece here, this is actually the cat that I ordered just to make sure that we're all nice and legal. And then obviously the actual muffler itself, which then flows out here and then into, this is the rear exit of the exhaust. And then they also give you everything you need, like all the clamps and bits and pieces to fit it all together as well. So perfect, that's what it looks like. Can't wait to get it on the car. So here we are again, back at the MR2 in the workshop. And I've noticed a little bit of progress. If you can see through there, there's actually more of the exhaust coming together. So the rear section now, from what I would have just showed you quite likely in this video, I'm not sure if I've put it in another video, haven't decided how I'm going to structure this yet, but all of that rear section is now going on. We've got the rear muffler here with the exhaust exit, but that is about to go on. And we've got, obviously the headers has been connected for a while now, but we've got, yeah, the mid pipes now connecting, obviously with the cat and whatnot inside, all set up. Yeah, all with the hangers on up here, which you can just quickly see. We've got one over here as well, holding the exhaust in place. Then that's all going to connect to this back bit here and then sit out the rear and just come down this left side here. But yeah, you can see through there, and I've got the facelift rear grille, which is going to sit in here, which is a bit more hollow than I guess the first standard grille that you put in the back. So you'll be able to actually see a bit of the exhaust, and maybe even through that, yeah, you can see a little bit there as well. So it's going to look pretty cool. It's not too in your face. And yeah, once this is done, I'm just waiting for I guess this part to all come on, and then we're going to rip the bumpers off and I'm going to send the front and rear away for paint. It's going to be exciting because then we have a nice consistent black throughout the car rather than just having two red bumpers, which looks a bit weird. Yeah, eventually when it's all together, get that plumbing in, wiring in, ECU in, probably send it off to a shop that can tune it, and then we'll have it running, which would be great. Can't wait to actually drive this and start doing more in-depth videos about how this car actually feels with the K20 in it, and all the other things that I've got planned for this on this YouTube channel. Just going to chuck this hanger mount in for the exhaust. This is the one that was supplied by Toyota to us, and yeah, we're just going to replace the one that came with the car. It's been on there for like 20 years with this. Yeah, fine. Just take a photo.
Mike's overdue for a beer, I think.
Crank one out. Feeling pretty blessed today. Got both of the boys working on the car. Actually, Johnny, what are you doing?
Oh, me?
Work on the car. That way I can have 3.
Educational observation.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well done, Mark. So we've got the exhaust on. Then we have to take the engine out another 3 times and do it again.
At least do this.
Oh, it's good to see it all fits.
Well, that's the other thing.
Alright, so here we are with the exhaust bolted in. You've got the rear portion popping out here, looks pretty nice. It's all married up really nicely as well to all the hangers and whatnot, sitting perfectly. So yeah, Toyota put together a pretty nice exhaust system. Unfortunately, we can't fire it up yet. Engine's not running, but when it is, we'll definitely get an exhaust note out of it. And so here we are. So that's the end of the video. I know it was a bit of a longer video, but thanks to all of you who stuck around to the end. So I just wanted to get everything together in this longer video as the start of working on the engine till now, because the next part will be me putting together all of the different bits and pieces required to get this thing on the road. And hopefully over the next couple videos, after I've sorted out the parts with the wrecker and the wiring adapter from overseas, actually get this car running. So fingers crossed, and that all comes together nicely. But thanks to everyone for watching this longer video, and I'll see you in the next one.